Please welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. So lovelies. I came across this video on my For You and I thought to share where internet is reacting to the fact that they said the last administration never called for a ceasefire during the time of the genocide that's happening in Kpe.Ple. This actually got people reacting and people were like, oh my god, these people lied. And you know what, so then people decided to go on research and finally realized that he actually did. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes.
So we now know that Joe Biden never pressured Israel for a ceasefire in Gaza, despite saying over and over again that they were working around the clock on a ceasefire. Basically, what we all thought was happening, which was nothing. Instead, according to a documentary from Israeli Channel 13 that interviewed 9 former American officials and former Israeli officials as well, including former Israeli Ambassador Michael Herzog, who said Biden never asked for a ceasefire, and that was actually a blessing. Weapons deliveries were never used as leverage to get Israel to stop carpet bombing women, children, hospitals, schools, refugee camps, on and on and on. Biden lied. For over a year, he lied as the death toll kept rising. And other Democrats, like Vice President Kamala Harris and those who were carrying water for her campaign, also lied when they said that she and Biden were working around the clock for a ceasefire. Nobody was. I'm not saying that these Democrats can't be forgiven, but there needs to be some atonement, an acknowledgement that Biden lied to them and to the American people. While they spoke about human rights and rule of law, they were violating it time and again. If the Democratic Party can't break with the murderous state of Israel, which is turning Gaza into a killing field and annexing the West Bank, violating international law, then there's no hope for the party. Because everyone sees the hypocrisy, and young voters, especially whose colleagues and friends are being disappeared for criticizing Israel and being called anti-Semitic by the very liberal institutions that so many self-described Democrats belong to, just exposes that hypocrisy even further. If Democrats are ever going to win again, there has to be a real reckoning with the party's stance on Israel. It is the moral issue of our time. Because many of these Dems are out here right now pretending to be outraged by Trump, but they've taken hundreds of thousands of dollars from the Israeli lobby. We see you speaking out of both sides of your mouth. We see your silence. We see your complicity. And honestly, we're sick of it.
Joe Biden never called for a ceasefire. It never happened one time. Do we all not live in the same planet where the internet exists? Do we all not live on the same planet where the internet exists? You guys literally, when Joe Biden announced the ceasefire, you same propagandist, you guys literally were trying to attribute it to Trump and saying, oh, look, Trump only had to say a word and now look, a ceafire's here. We literally watched you guys try to find a way to give Trump credit because you didn't like Biden that much. Did Biden not at all pressure Israel how he should after calling for these ceasefires and initiating these ceasefires? And then when they were still going against them, did he not apply enough pressure then? Of course. That's why everybody, including myself, did not support or agree with him. But using your source for the claim as Israel, the people that you guys have painted as notorious liars for the last 2 years who don't tell the truth about anything, you guys' primary source for Joe Biden never calling for a ceasefire when we literally all watched the shit happen is the same people that are committing the genocide that you're against. Seriously, like, I cannot believe that you guys cannot do anything without trying to find a way to criticize or demonize Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. Like, it would have been different if you said Joe Biden didn't put enough pressure after the ceasefires were called for to get Israel to stop. But it doesn't hit the same when you say, oh yeah, Joe Biden did do the thing that we're claiming he didn't. It's just that Israel, the people that we're using to support our claim, didn't hold up their end of the bargain. This is like literally insane that these same educated people cannot do source verification, and then you guys can't stay consistent on your points. Like, the fact that I'm even having to make this video is insane.
Breaking. Biden never called for a ceasefire. American leftists are running with this talking point all up and down my FYP. But unfortunately, they're running with potential misinformation stemming from a dubious quote by Bibi's former ambassador to the US. If the Biden admin never called for or demanded a ceasefire, that seems like it would be big news. So you would think big news sources would be the ones breaking it. But all I can find outside of TikTok is an article from Middle East Monitor and tweets from Dropsite News. And Middle East Monitor's source are the tweets from Dropsite. And already, the way this is laid out is intentionally misleading. Because it says, report, Biden officials admit they never pressured IS for ceasefire, as IS leaders boast of playing Washington. Then it has a quote from former IS ambassador Michael Herzog. Now, I think a lot of people are going to read this very quickly and think this was a quote from the US ambassador to IS, which would be a Biden official. But Michael Herzog is not a Biden official. He was a Bibi official. He was the IS ambassador to the US. Now let's read the part of the quote that everyone is misquoting together. The administration never came to us and said, ceasefire now. Do you notice that ceasefire now is in quotes? Meaning the admin never directly said the phrase ceasefire now? That doesn't mean they never called or demanded or tried to negotiate a ceasefire. And when you read through it, there's a lot of talk about Bibi specifically making things difficult for the Biden admin during negotiations. And what were those negotiations? Ceasefire negotiations. But Dropsite News conveniently never says ceasefire negotiations. The only time they say ceasefire are the tweet headings and in that misleading quote. And when you read these tweets, there is literally nothing in this that is new information except for that one quote from Michael Herzog. Everything in this thread is Dropsite News' English translation highlights from IS Channel 13 special, All the President's Men, which was broadcasted in Hebrew. For some context, IS Channel 13 is an independent IS news station, and it's not Bibi's favorite channel. If you look at the thread, Dropsite News already had to issue one clarification. So who knows what other things they could have mistranslated or misinterpreted in this thread. For the past 2 years, American pro-Ple lefties have been telling everyone to take reports from IS news stations and quotes from IS government officials with the biggest grain of Dead Sea salt. But now, you're misrepresenting an obviously suspect quote from one of Bibi's former officials because it allows you to talk shit about Biden and Harris again. Lefties on this app call everything they disagree with a psyop, but they can't even see an obvious one because they want it to be true. Like, please think for 2 seconds here. Ceasefire now is in quotes. And considering ceasefire now is a popular slogan of the pro-Ple movement, it would make sense if the Biden admin purposefully avoided using that phrase in any communications with IS. Also, we know Bibi stalled negotiations on multiple fronts to keep in favor with the orange guy. Dropsite News even mentions that in their Twitter thread. The orange guy is putting out merch for a 2028 run, and it seems like Harris is also gearing up for a 2028 run. Would it not be in IS's best interest to continue to stoke resentment against Biden, Harris, and the Democratic Party to keep the orange guy and Republicans in power? Like, please, let us learn fucking anything from the 2024 election. I swear, the CIA and Mossad do not need to spend a fucking dime on propaganda when you guys will work overtime for internet clout. Now, if it comes out from a more reputable news source that you guys were right, then you guys were right. And I'll have no problem admitting that I was wrong. I just don't think it's a good idea to continue to spread inflammatory and controversial misinformation just because y'all want to talk shit about people who aren't even in power. Biden and Harris literally got a ceasefire deal in January. And I feel so fucking stupid for even engaging in this stupid fucking obvious propaganda conversation. I'm ashamed, right? Because how the fuck did I engage in all of this and never once fucking remember that they got a fucking ceasefire? Now, did the ceasefire last? No. Was IS violating it the entire time? Yes. It didn't end the gen out. It didn't end the apartheid state. It was never going to. But a ceasefire did fucking happen. So for anyone to get on this app and say, wow, Biden and Kamala never called for a ceasefire, you're fucking lying to yourself and you're fucking lying to everyone else about something that happened in January. And I do not understand how you can just fall for this propaganda so fucking easily. Some of you built your platforms the past year saying Kamala Harris calling for a ceasefire wasn't enough. What's the truth? Did she never call for one, or did you call her out every single fucking day for only calling for one? Some of you literally made videos breaking the news that they got a fucking ceasefire in January. And you guys are basing this fucking lie off of a misinterpretation of a quote from an is official that worked under Bibi. Like, you didn't even fall for is propaganda. You made your own propaganda for is. And literally, what is the point? Biden is not president. Kamala isn't president. So what the fuck is the purpose of any of this? It just goes to show that some of you have your politic based specifically around talking shit about Biden and Kamala Harris. Not even just the Democrats anymore, but specifically those two. But it's crazy. Like, you are straight up lying. And you know, I went into the misinformation of the quote and whatever, but now I'm just like, that was even stupid. And I don't know, I'm just like in awe because I'm like, how did I literally fall for this to think it was any kind of reasonable fucking argument when they literally got a fucking ceasefire deal in January? That's the misinformation. It's not the intricacies of the fucking quote. It's the fact that they got a fucking ceasefire and you're all fucking forgetting that. And just one more thing, some of you act like you're so fucking politically aware, but you don't understand the difference between a fucking ceasefire and a free PAL. I truly think some of you think that if there is a ceasefire, it means PAL is free. And that's not what it ever meant. A ceasefire is a step to stop the violence, to then have further negotiations towards that end goal. And that end goal is going to take a long fucking time. And we have lengthened that timeline by letting that guy become elected. Because none of you know what the fuck you're talking about, but you act like you have authority on anything. How can we trust your political fucking judgment when you can't even remember the content you made in January when you were celebrating a fucking ceasefire from Biden?
Hey folks, so I had some leftists come across my FYP who are literally screaming into their TikToks. You see, we told you. Biden and Harris never worked on the ceasefire. And I really want us to be source critical at this point, because the people that DropSite are getting their information from is an Israeli news source, Channel 13, which, according to everything I've been able to find online, actually doesn't have a real left or right bias. They're kind of middle of the road, but they're still willing to criticize Netanyahu, which apparently is hitting them in their pocketbook at this point. Okay, great. But I think that the quote that everybody's hanging on to, and this is where I'm really like, let's be source critical, folks, was an Israeli ambassador who said that the Biden administration never said we need a ceasefire immediately. Okay, that guy, he's part of the Netanyahu administration. He still has ties to these people. I don't trust this guy. And I don't know why leftists are glomming onto this like we should be taking this guy at face value. Okay, DropSite might have some excellent reporters on its rolls, but I still think we need to be critical of reporting at this point coming out. And while, again, Jeremy Scahill and the other contributors to DropSite News might be excellent investigative journalists, they're mostly relying on Channel 13 reporting for this bit. Because I went and I looked at the DropSite article in question. And I found a Twitter thread where they put everything that was being screen capped in the leftist videos that I saw. And I read through it. And one of the things that kept coming up again and again in that thread was how badly Netanyahu and his administration scuttled ongoing peace talks. So we'd get somewhere with them, and then they'd pull back. At one point, one of the Biden administration folks said that they were surprised and frustrated because Saudi Arabia was going to work out a deal with Israel, and then Netanyahu said, nope, we're not going that route either. So it'd be, 2 or 3 steps towards a ceasefire, and then it'd be 4 or 5 steps backwards. And so just if you're going to take DropSite on its face from the reporting that they give and the reporting that Channel 13 did on this, okay, but I don't think this is the smoking gun that leftists are saying it is. And I think we should exercise some caution in declaring too much on top of this article. So I'm going to post in my comment section on this video the Twitter thread that I was able to find. I tried looking through the Dropsite Substack and I couldn't find it. Now, that doesn't mean it's not there, but I found their newsletter a little frustrating to try to sift through. But the quotes that I kept seeing come up in TikTok videos are found in the Twitter thread, so I'll be posting that in my comments. And I am actually fine with being wrong on this. Like, it would not drastically surprise me to know that the Biden administration gave token efforts. It also wouldn't surprise me that the Israeli officials are either being half-truthful or they're playing cover-your-ass games at this point. So, suffice to say, I don't fully trust any of the parties involved at this point. So please do not come at me sideways like I'm trying to defend the Biden administration. I don't trust anybody that was involved with the ceasefire negotiations as many times as we got them to walk up and say, yeah, we could maybe do this, when Israel was the aggressor in this. So, like I said, I'm waiting for more analysis. I'm waiting for more news to come out about this. But I really want to caution caution from leftists for jumping on this as though this is the smoking gun, because I think this might be a little premature. This report just came out, and I think that there's more to this, and we need to be careful before declaring. This definitely proves that the Biden administration didn't do jack shit for the ceasefire. Could they have done more? Oh yeah, you won't hear me argue with that. But I think that this tendency of the left to very reactionarily jump on stuff that agrees with narratives that we believe in, or that sections of us believe in, is one that can easily lead us around by the nose. So there's no particular animus on my part toward any particular content creator, but I think especially because emotions are running really high right now, taking a step back, taking a breath, and asking where people get their sources from, even a cursory look. Like, all I had to do was look around a couple of websites to figure out where Channel 13 kind of sat in things, and I don't read Hebrew. So maybe I'm misinformed, and I'm willing to be corrected on this, okay? And I don't know all of the players on the Israeli side, so I can't say for sure, hey, this ambassador that Dropsite quoted in their article is, someone not to be trusted. I don't have enough background knowledge. And I as a leftist, I think it's actually really important for us to admit these things if we don't understand something.
Some of these, there was actually this article that came out on Thread that got people reacting, and it was actually said that the last administration, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris never actually called for a ceasefire now, because of what is actually happening in Kpe.Ple during that hefty period of Gen OC. This got people mad. People were like so disappointed to the fact that people were like, okay, that means the last administration actually lied when they said that they are trying to, negotiate for a ceasefire. That was all a lie. But the thing is that internet can never forget. Like, internet never ever forgets. So that's why when someone decide to bring out something, it's actually good to keep some receipts in order to go back to the said receipts to actually hold up before coming out to spew things. So this has got a lot of people reacting. People are getting disappointed. People are like, oh my god, so these people are just how it is. So it happens that it is partially, or it's actually not true. This dude has tried their best. They even, before the election, I think they had a deal with a ceasefire, which did not really take a long time, and that is it. But the issue of them coming out to debunk the fact that they never, um, you know, mention anything like a ceasefire, they never called up for a ceasefire. Like, I can vividly, you know, remember a particular stage that's about last year where Kamala Harris was actually addressing people in public, and she was like, oh my god, they're trying all of their best for a ceasefire now, and aids were sent and all of that. Like, even if it's months back, I can still remember that I actually stitched a video like that, her in particular demanding and asking and requesting, even begging, but the fact that these guys are just, putting it out there just as to, make it look like, oh, Orange Man is the savior. And my own question is that, okay, let's just assume that, okay, he never even mentioned anything like a ceasefire. He never even done nothing. What is happening right now with Orange Man? So why are they not pressuring Orange Man with what is going on, with him trying to turn Gaza as on Trump Gaza? So why are they not, like, these people are just they are just wasting their energy and effort to something that is so irrelevant to the real thing that is happening right now. This dude is practically telling you guys to leave your land to maybe Egypt or something so that he can renovate Gaza and make it a beautiful place for the rich to come hang out and while away time, instead of you guys to actually come out and, like, no, you can't take away our land. You can, make us homeless, or you can't make us a documented immigrant, maybe in Egypt, in order for you to have a Trump Gaza. Instead of you to, like, put that energy there, you are still dragging an administration that is not even on power anymore. Like, they are not in power anymore. So why is it that these people, maybe because they see that Kamala Harris is coming maybe for 2028. So I heard on a social platform, I think she's gonna come back, and also Orange Man is going to make it possible for him to come for the third time. Now they're just looking for any form of propaganda to debunk her. Like, I don't understand. There is an issue on deck. People in Gaza, Palestine, and all of that need help. Let's assume that the last administration never had the time to complete whatsoever they've started. What is keeping the present administration not to continue from where he stopped? Why trying to make it look like, oh, the last administration, oh my goodness, they never did so? Like, we are talking about the present now and the future. The present is at the verge of kicking you out from your land. Instead of you to fight about that, instead of you to, like, defend your land and property, you are talking about the last administration. You are talking about something that happened in the past. What happened now? There is a proposed Trump Gaza. Like, these people are not just so serious. Like, you are not serious. And the thing is that all of these things are not even seen on the social platform, like on a national. Oh my God. If not for the sake of, receipts and internet, not a place that can be forgotten, most of these receipts out here couldn't have been something that someone can even have a hand on, because these people are already painting it and trying to debunk Kamala Harris. Anyway, lovely, so just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So, lovelies, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload
Comment section of what
the
you
next
think of
one.
this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that. Like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.